Hello, my Vibrantly You community. Crystal Atkinson here, your Vibrantly You coach and trainer, specializing in women's growth and leadership. So if you're a woman who's ready to ditch the excuses and live your life vibrantly, you are in the right place. Be sure to like, comment, and share with every part of this that resonates with you. And of course, as always, share this with your bestie. We've been talking a lot about confidence around here, and that's because I truly believe that when we can tweak a woman's confidence, small steps towards a more confident woman, we can totally change the trajectory of her life. And so while you have probably heard and you can list off all the ways that confidence is holding you back in life, it's stopping you from doing a lot of the things you dream of. What you may not have considered is how a lack of confidence is causing you to burn out. Often we talk about burnout, but haven't really made that connection to burnout and confidence. So let's talk about 3 areas of your life really quickly today that you may be feeling burned out. And the reason you're feeling burned out is because you have a lack of confidence in one of these 3 areas. So be sure to let me know which one of these areas you can see yourself in. Let's talk about the workplace first. So often people will refer to work and they'll say, oh, I'm so burnt out. I have so much on my plate. It's just nonstop. I have this and this and this. And they list off all of the responsibilities, all of the roles that they have. And when they press pause and truly look at their job, what their roles are, what their responsibilities are, when I have a client lay out, what are you actually required to do? And then let's look at all of those extras. So one example that a lot of clients will share with me is they're really high achieving women who want to prove themselves. They don't want to let their boss down or their colleagues down. They want to be that first person that everybody thinks of when a promotion comes up. And so in doing so, they sign up for every committee. They take on extra shifts. They take on extra files. They go so hard that they push themselves to the point of exhaustion. Now, you may be saying, well, Crystal, that's just part of the workforce. If you want to move ahead, you have to stand out. And you do, I agree. I think there's a healthier way for you to stand out. And I think the reason that you are saying yes to everything is because you don't know what's most important. You don't know which parts of your job are actually going to help prepare you for that next step in life. And so in doing so, you're saying yes to everything. You're saying no to nothing. And all it is doing is making you tired and cranky and not the person people want to advance when it comes time to advance. So my question for you is, if this is you, what would happen if you really sat down and thought about which areas of my profession do I want to grow in? What can I say no to? What can I take off of my plate? Instead of saying yes to the next committee that comes my way, oh, Crystal will take that. Oh yeah, Jessica will take that. Oh, you need somebody to do that? Call Jennifer. What if when they call you and they say, hey, will you organize our next social gathering? You said, no, sorry, it just doesn't fit right now. What would happen? Do you think they would pass you up on the next career opportunity? We're going to go dive deeper into this in the full 1-hour workshop, confidence workshop. So if you want some more strategies, you're going to want to register for that. We're going to dive into that. Okay, so that was the first area of life. The second area of life that we're going to talk about are relationships. Your lack of confidence in navigating relationships is burning you out. And here's how I know. You're a people pleaser. You avoid conflict. You see something that you know that difficult person is coming to you with, and you just agree with everything, even though everything inside of you is telling you to run the other way. You know this person's coming to you and they're going to want to go in this direction, and you're just like, oh, I just want to go the other way. but you don't. You don't use your voice. You don't even let on to the fact that you don't agree with them. Instead, you just become a yes, yes, yes person. That is a lack of confidence. And what happens is, if you imagine yourself like this big helium balloon, you're full of energy, you're full of air. Every time somebody in your life comes in and they demand something of you that you don't want, or they have you agree to something, and it doesn't have to be big things. It could be as simple as you always go to the same restaurant, you just don't want to go to that restaurant. You want to go somewhere else. Or perhaps you have an annual event that you do together and you're just like, oh, I just don't want to put my money there. I don't want to put my time there. But instead of voicing that, you just go with it. So you start as this big helium balloon. This person comes along. They want you to do something. You agree and you shrink. And then they ask you for something else and you shrink some more. And then they say something else and you shrink. Every time in a relationship, when you don't use your voice, when you prevent yourself from being authentic and standing up for what you want, what you believe in, what your values are, you shrink every single time. And here's the thing about relationships that burn you out. Once you get into a pattern of going with the flow and agreeing with the others, like that helium balloon, once you've shrunk, it's impossible to inflate that again. It's just so hard. And so I'm asking you right now, are you burned out in certain relationships due to a lack of confidence? Be honest with yourself. Journal it out if you need to. Again, we're going to dive deeper. We're going to look at some strategies in the full workshop. So if this is resonating with you, that's going to be your next step. And if this is just like for food for thought, just be sure to like and comment so that we can get this out to other women. Last step, your calendar. Your calendar often will become that source of conversation that you're, oh, I'm so burned out. I'm so burned out. I'm so busy. I'm doing this. I'm just exhausted. I've got this and this and this to take the kids here and do this for the husband. I got to do this for work. Oh, and then I've got all of these 13,000 extra committees that I've volunteered for because I just need to do all of these things. What's happening here? What's happening, my friend? Your calendar and your lack of prioritizing yourself is a direct reflection of your confidence. People who are not confident really struggle with downtime. They really struggle with white space in their calendars, with having nothing to do. And our society has just driven this home time and time again. If you aren't doing something, there must be something wrong, because we should always be doing. Here's an example. I dealt with this with my husband several times, and I chuckle every time. He's actually moved on from this. But the odd time when I just sit in the living room and I open up a book and I'm reading, he'll come along. He's very high energy, very like ADHD. Snow, what are you doing? And I'll say, I'm reading. Well, don't you think you should be doing something? I'm reading. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, but we have so much to do, like around the house and all the things. Like, don't you think you should be doing something? Again, dear husband, reading is a verb. I am doing something. It's called reading. I know you don't enjoy it, but I do. What happens when we fill our calendar all the time? We don't take care of ourselves. And we don't take care of ourselves because we're not comfortable. We're not willing to stand up and say, you know what, this is me time. This is where I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to have a nice hot bath in the middle of the day if I want to. No explanation, no apologizing, no justifying. I'm simply going to take care of myself. I'm going to do my workout. I'm going to eat something that is nutritious and replenishes the energy in my body. I'm not going to fill my calendar every waking second of the day. And instead, I'm just going to ease into who I am. I'm going to fall in love with myself and the things that really do light me on fire, with the passions that I could just do full time without pay. No downtime in your calendar is a reflection of your lack of confidence, because here's what happens. If you're a mama and you show up at something with your kids and they need somebody to help, you step up. When you go to work and somebody needs to stay through lunch, you really just needed to go outside and get some fresh air, you take that. Rather than protecting who you are and what you need, you don't want conflict. You want people to like you. That's where your self-worth comes from. And so in turn, you don't protect your calendar because you're so busy, so caught up in taking care of everyone else, worried about what other people will say. And so we're going to dive into our calendar, into our time, into where our self-validation and worth comes from in that 1 hour confidence boosting workshop. In that workshop, you're going to get a full PDF guide where I'm going to break these apart and give you really real tangible steps to take to practice reframing what you think and what you do, and help you put up some really clear boundaries that make sense to you. Now, what makes sense to you is not what makes sense to me, right? We all have our own journeys to walk. But here's the truth. Your lack of confidence is burning you out. And so today, I just want you to exhale. I want you to consider these 3 areas of your life: your work, your relationships, and your calendar. And be honest with yourself. In what area am I hiding? Am I masking things? Am I deflecting? And what can I do to change that? What can I do? As always, be sure to like, comment, share this with your bestie. I would be ever so grateful. Let me know what resonates with you. And between now and then, go be vibrant, make today amazing.